So I have two new teams for this year, and they're both second teams. Boys U16 and girls U16. Actually, no, sorry, they're U15. It's hard because most places would say U15 and then other places go by year of birth. So I have to do the math and try and figure out what age are you. So they are U15 and U15 girls, U15 boys, U15 girls. Now, I've been asked before, what's what's the first thing you do when you're taking over a new team? What's your process? I won't say the entire process because I think there are so many variables, so many things which might influence the process. I try not to be too flexible with my process. And in the past, I've found that you get a lot more buy-in with what I've tried and tested. So the initial thing, the first thing that I look at, the first thing that I try to work on when I take over a new team would be the culture. So I have to, we have to be aligned because anything that I'm saying to the parents or to the players, it can be undone if our ideals are really different. So we have to share the same ideals, the same values, and it has to be clear where it originates from. So it can't be, from my experience, the culture of a team, it can't be isolated. It can't just be what the coach wants. Because it means that the values are too kind of too flexible, because when the coach leaves, then the values change. So that you've got to try and make the values attributed to the environment, so the environment should not change. And sometimes make it so that the players are aware of the importance of the environment, so that they get a sense of citizenship. So, do they feel a sense of belonging to the plan? Do they feel that they are part of the environment? Do they feel valued? So I look at culture. I look to see what appears to be prevalent, what appears to be the ruling culture, and then I obviously have to try and figure out what the club expects, and then we have to align the two, and the players need to feel that it's okay to change whatever it is that they were previously doing if it's not in line with what the club expects of them. So our culture has to be one which adheres to what the club wants, and it needs to be palatable, so the players need to be able to understand it. So that's the first thing that I look at when I start working with new teams. I don't introduce it straight away because I think you shouldn't do anything straight away. Especially if it comes to making changes. I think you've got to respect that you're new, and so figure out what you've come into. Figure out what the norms seem to be before you start imposing your personality or your likes or dislikes. Then you've just got to get the balance between respecting the environment, which has been existing before you arrived, and then also introduce what the club expects. So that's how I always try and start my work with teams. It doesn't usually matter what age the players are either. That's my experience, and it doesn't matter what level they operate at. So, like I said, I've got two second teams this year. Last year I had two first teams, and this year I'm aware I'm more of a development coach. So it's a big project. The players know it is. The families understand that. I think they do. And I respect that. So the, the, the levels of performance or the level of the current ability level doesn't matter. Figure out what the culture is, endorse it, and you have to keep echoing the culture so that it becomes the norm, and you're not dominated by somebody else's culture within the team if it's not aligned with what the club wants.